Hello and welcome to the BattleFan podcast, episode number 13. My name is Paul, and it's just me this week. Jerry's out. He's got a lost voice, but it is game week this week, and we need to get an episode out, so here I am letting you people know all the happenings around the world of the BattleHawks. So this weekend, this Sunday, we have our first game. We're going to be playing the Dallas Renegades. This game will be in Dallas. It's not a home game. Be played at 4 o'clock Sunday. You can watch that live on ESPN. So again, that's February 9th, this Sunday. So we're here. We've made it. We've been waiting a long time for the XFL, and it's upon us now. So let's get into some news that's been happening. Kind of an exciting thing, the XFL just released a application for iPhone. I've been looking, I don't think it's on Android yet. I have an iPhone, so I was able to take a look at it. It's got all the schedules on there. It's got information about the stadiums, news. You can actually select who your favorite team is, and it'll put that stuff, front and center for you. So definitely check that out. I think they just released it in the last day or two, so it doesn't seem like it's on the top of the App Store yet. So if you search XFL, it doesn't even show up. You have to scroll down pretty far. But if you type in "For the Love of Football," it'll be the first one that comes up. So you should definitely go check that out if you have an iPhone. I'm assuming the Android one will be out shortly. Maybe by the time this gets published, it might be out already. So some things going on. The XFL had a Super Bowl ad on last night. The ad was, I don't know. I didn't think it was that great. But the fact that they had an ad on the Super Bowl, I'm pretty impressed by that they have that much pull that I think the network themselves did it because it was the XFL on Fox that had the ad. But it was kind of, it's kind of forgettable. I was at a Super Bowl party last night, and when the ad came on, I knew it was coming in the fourth quarter, so I was watching for it. When it came on, people at the party were not really paying attention. It didn't grab their attention, and I don't think anyone even noticed that there was an XFL ad. I think it was targeted more toward hardcore football fans. It was talking about a football withdrawal syndrome. If you haven't seen it, we retweeted on our Twitter account. What is our Twitter handle? It's at XFL BattleFan. It'll be up on there. You can look at the ad to see if you like it or not. So I think for football fans, it was a good ad. But for like general public, I think it was very forgettable. Another ad, ESPN has commercials on their network, and I do like those. It's got the song, the X Gonna Give It To You song. I think it's pretty clever, and I think it really puts the XFL front and center on it. The XFL on Fox ad that they had during the Super Bowl, it only had, at the very end of the ad, it kind of showed XFL at the end on the football, so it wasn't really prominent like how the ESPN commercial is. So you should definitely check those out. At the Super Bowl last night, the Kansas City Chiefs, they won. I guess how that relates to the BattleHawks is that I'm now worried that the Kansas City fans are going to be too busy celebrating their big victory that I don't know if they're going to be paying attention to across the state here in St. Louis what the BattleHawks are doing. But that's all right. We'll get by. We got plenty of fans here in St. Louis and the rest of the Midwest area, and around the whole country, around the whole world, wherever you are, you can root for the BattleHawks. We're all about it. Some other news was they announced there's no official radio partner for the BattleHawks. So they won't be on like 101 ESPN or anything like that. So if you're just wanting to listen to the game, like you're in the car and you can't watch it on TV, I'm not sure how you're going to be able to listen into the game. So they said they're going to do something with social media. We'll see how that goes. I don't know if negotiations broke down or what, but I think they tried to spin it that they wouldn't be open to being able to talk to different radio stations. Seems like they couldn't get a deal done. I don't know. So that's kind of a bummer that there's nowhere to listen to it. Hopefully they'll have something online that you could stream something to get the kind of the play-by-play, because you can't always be around a TV. You might be traveling or something like that. It'd be good to listen in on the game. So hopefully they get something figured out online that one way or another you can listen to the game if you need to. So I guess since the season's about to start, I wanted to make some predictions on how the season's going to go, and just moving forward, things that I see happening with the league and the BattleHawks specifically. So I'm going to go through. I got the top 8 predictions that I'm going to make for the XFL and the BattleHawks. So my number 8, we'll count down 8 to 1. Number 8 prediction will be, I'm saying the BattleHawks are going to go 6-4 this year. And the bold part of this is I'm going to say 5 of those 6 wins are going to come in the Dome, are going to be home games. I think that dome field advantage is going to be a big deal. I think that playing in that dome with the home crowd behind them, I think that's really going to push them over the edge, and that's going to be the difference. I think there's a lot of parity in this league, and that'll be the factor that makes us that gets us to win. So 5 games at home. One of the road games we'll pick up. We'll go 6-4. That's my prediction for the season. There was a poll on Twitter. They were talking about this guy Jeff Polizzi. He did a poll trying to figure out what to call. What to call the dome. I guess there was 4 different options on his Twitter poll. He had Battle Dome, Hawks Nest, St. Louis Dome, and Air Dome. St. Louis Dome and Air Dome barely got any votes, but between Battle Dome and Hawks Nest, Battle Dome got 63% of the vote, and Hawks Nest got 35%. So I like the name Battle Dome, so I'm going to start using that. The Battle Dome is where we're going to play. So let's move on to number 7. So week 3 is our first home game, and at this game, we're going to hear a lot of Ka-Kaws from the crowd. It's just going to happen. I guess if you listen to our podcast, you know we're not the biggest fans of the Ka-Kaw thing. And I want to talk about that a little bit. Like the original video that I saw about the Ka-Kaw, there was this guy, he was going outside and yelling things. Like he was clearly making fun of the XFL. And that was just my first impression of the whole Ka-Kaw thing, and I got the sense that, we're being made fun of. But it has kind of turned into more of a thing, like people saying on the radio, friends that are in it that maybe didn't see that video, like they use that and joke about it. It just seems like it comes from this like cynical internet humor place. So that's why I'm not the biggest fan of it. It's like you're trying to, you want to be a fan of the team, but you're kind of making fun of it at the same time, is to kind of hedge your bets that if this doesn't go well, I was making fun of it the whole time. But at the same time, people like it and people enjoy it, and it gives something for people to talk about. So I'm not going to be, I can't speak for Jerry, but I'll speak for myself. It's going to happen at the Dome. Like that first game, you're going to hear a lot of Ka-Kaws, and I will not be participating in the Ka-Kaws, but I'm not going to let it bother me either. Like people are getting behind it and people are having fun with it. Who am I to ruin your fun? So that's my take on it. I'm sure we're going to hear from Jerry because he has some really strong opinions on it. So maybe later in the week, if we do another podcast before before the first week 3 game, or the first home game, I'm sure I'll have an opinion on that. So number 6, if they announce like different players and coaches, Az Hakim, if you remember him from the Greatest Show on Turf days, I think he'll get the biggest crowd reaction if they announce coaches, players. Like he's the familiar name to us St. Louis folks. So that's my prediction on who gets the biggest applause or the biggest reaction out of the crowd if they announce everyone. And while we're at it, his teammate Isaac Bruce, everyone knows, I don't need to explain who he is. He just got inducted to or was chosen to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. So congrats to Isaac Bruce. Number 5, I think this is going to be a successful year for not only the BattleHawks, but for the whole XFL. That I think year 2, or maybe even late in this first year, they're going to start opening up the upper bowl. It looks like they're doing a bang-up job, like getting tickets sold. Looks like there's going to be a lot of people in that dome. And I think just from word of mouth, people are going to go to the games and say how much fun it was, and they're going to get their friends to go. I mean, the tickets are super cheap. It's a pretty easy sell to tell people to go. I've been talking to people, and it's definitely an easy sell to get people to want to go down there, especially if they're going to be having tailgates before the game, which I think officially now like the park they have right in front of the dome, between the highway and the dome there. I think they're going to have an official tailgate party there with music and food and things like that. So I think it starts 2 or 3 hours. I have to look it up. 2 or 3 hours before the game. You head down there, have a good time, get yourself a drink, get yourself a burger or a hot dog. I don't know. Just have a good time. Listen to some music. Do your Ka-Kaws if you want to. I don't care. Like, have a good time. Maybe they'll have some like flyovers with some like BattleHawk helicopters or something. Hoping for something like that. They'll probably have bands, like marching bands. Hopefully that'll get people fired up. So I think that'll be a good time. So number 4. Okay, so we have 3 quarterbacks on the team. And Jordan Ta'amu, he was actually named the starter officially for the BattleHawks. But my prediction is that at least at some point during the season, our 3 quarterbacks, each of them is at least going to start one game. So I think there's going to be a little bit of churn, a little bit of feeling out of these quarterbacks. I mean, initially we were assigned Jordan Ta'amu, and then we picked up Rogan Roback with our second pick. So obviously they wanted someone right away. But then soon after, I guess they weren't so sure about even him. They picked up Taylor Heineke soon after the draft. And then even, I think going into training camp, I think that's when they picked up Nick Fitzgerald, that they still weren't too sure about it, that they picked up another guy. So it's an interesting situation there. I don't think they don't have nailed down their quarterback situation. That's not the impression I'm getting. So I think they're going to try out different things, and at least one game each, they're all going to start at least something just to try out a different quarterback at different times. That's my prediction with the quarterbacks. On the other side of it, or I guess right behind him, is our running backs. I think for my number 3 prediction is the BattleHawks will lead the league in rushing. I think we're going to rely a lot more on the run than we are through the air, because we have Matt Jones and Christine Michael as our running back duo, and those are 2 solid guys that have played in the NFL, like they've played against NFL level talent. I think moving down a half step here to the XFL, I think the game's going to slow down a little bit for them. I think these guys are really going to have monster years, and I think they're going to lead the league in rushing yards. So that's my prediction number 3. Prediction number 2, Kenny Robinson. He's a safety for the BattleHawks. I think he's going to kind of pave the way for other college students. So kind of the story with him is that he didn't play his 3rd year in college. I guess he skipped college, and instead of playing football at that level, he's coming to the XFL. This guy's a real talent. They're saying he can go first round in the NFL draft. I think he's going to have a monster year. He's got that talent level, and he's going against XFL level players. I think he's really going to stand out, and I think he's going to be a trailblazer that the next year, because he'll be going into the NFL right after this year. So he's a one year in the XFL, but he's gonna kind of pave the way for other guys. Be like, I'm gonna forego my last year in college, or maybe even sooner, maybe right out of high school, and go straight into the XFL instead of going to college, where you get a scholarship and you get to go to school for free, but you get paid actual money going to the XFL. Who knows what kind of endorsement deals and other things could happen. So I think he's going to pave the way for other players to do that. And number 1, my last prediction is that the big overtime rules, which are pretty cool, they're doing like a sudden death style overtime, which I can't wait when it happens. However, the way the points work, with the extra points, you get 1, 2, or 3. There's going to be a lot of variety in scores that you're not going to get a lot of ties, I don't think. And I'm saying it's going to happen 4 or less times throughout the whole season for all the teams. You're only going to see overtime happen 4 at the most, so 4 or less times. That's my big prediction. So just got a episode out real quick. Thanks for listening in. Maybe you'll hear from us before the first game, but definitely right after if not. Until then, let's go BattleHawks.